Thank you for joining the movement today. I'm your host, Laurie Ann, and I'm so glad you're here. I have a very special guest today, but before I introduce you to her, I just wanted to shout out to everybody there for your support and encouragement in producing this podcast. I have heard from so many listeners, potential listeners, through our social media, through Instagram, through Facebook, through our website, which is live and accepting MOOB mail and confessions for our confession corner. And so many of you have been incredible and so supportive and interested in coming on as a guest. So thank you, thank you, thank you. I knew there'd be an audience for the movement. I knew it was something that I needed and wanted. I had absolutely no idea how many people would benefit and be excited about this along with me. So thank you to all of you, to all of my listeners, and please tell your friends to join the movement as well. So let's move on to our wonderful guest for today. I have Debbie Gottlieb with me here today. And Debbie and I have been introduced through a mutual friend, Marcia Goldstein. You know who you are. And I was so pleased to meet Debbie. And in the times we've met, we had lots of things to talk about, but for whatever reason, never really touched on the fact that we were both MOOBs, mothers of only boys, until recently. And we had decided to table a lot of our conversation for this podcast. So I'm happy to introduce you to Debbie, and then we will move on to our topic today, which will be largely about mothers-in-law, being one and having one. So Debbie, welcome.
Thank you. Thanks so much for having me today.
Of course. Why don't you, I know you are an amazing designer in home furnishings, and you have built an incredible, successful career, but why don't you tell us a little bit about that, a little bit about who you are, a little bit about your family. We'd love to hear about it.
So I guess I'm a mother first of two wonderful boys, young men, I should say now, because they're grown-ups. And now I have two girls, which is a value add for me and my family.
Your sons are married, is what you mean.
Yes, yes. Both of my young men are married to great girls, women, young women. And now I'm a grandmother, 8 weeks of our daughter-in-law, who I just refer to all my kids. I kind of don't say daughter-in-law. They have a little boy. So now she's going to be a mother of a boy. Well, she is already.
Interesting.
And it's so wonderful to see them parent now. I know it's the gift that keeps giving.
It certainly does. And being a grandmother, a grandparent is just probably the best thing ever. And we can certainly talk about that as well.
Yes.
But tell us a little bit about your business and about your career.
So I'm still working. I get energized by, creating custom furnishings and floor plans and renovating and all of that. I'm newly working in the Florida area. So that's been a big learning curve down in Miami Beach. With construction and the city and all of that. But, it's been very rewarding. And
I can imagine you're very busy because Florida has gotten extremely popular now.
Yes,
and a lot of people actually who are in the Northeast right now expecting an incredible storm that I hear is coming their way. Really are interested in being in a better climate. So I'm sure your business is thriving from that.
There are a lot of people moving down here. And really the last 5 years, I've discovered new vendors and finding my way around and all of that. So
another thing to talk about, that you can never be too old to reinvent yourself, to learn new things, and to have new experiences and challenges, which is great. And Fine Line Designs is your name of your company,
yes,
correct?
It's Fine Lines Interiors.
Fine Lines Interiors.
Yes.
Okay. Well, we should let everybody know that, so when they need to furnish and they need to update their homes, they know who to call.
Thank you.
Yes, absolutely. So You mentioned being value-added mother, and we had spoken a little bit before this podcast about being a mother-in-law. So I thought, let's go there a little bit today. And at first, when I thought about it, I said, well, I know that's something I would like to talk about and that I'm interested in, but I'm not sure about our younger listeners out there, our young moms. And then I started thinking about it some more. And I realized, just like you said, well, our younger, they may not be the mother-in-law, but they certainly have mothers-in-law. And for daughters-in-law, like your daughter-in-law or your new daughter, who have sons, they will be us. They will be mothers-in-law at some point going forward. So maybe good thing for them to listen in and hear what we have to say a little in advance. Because sometimes I think if we knew what to tell our younger selves, and is there something you would maybe tell your younger self if you knew a little bit more now than you did then?
Well, I think, there's a gradual buildup of letting go. When your kids are young, they have you as their primary caregiver. After college, as a mom for, girls and guys, there comes a time where you're not, parenting heavily. You kind of sit back and wait for questions, if they want advice. And you're more, kind of partners as friends almost. You're not telling them what to do on a day-to-day basis. And
at least that's what you should be doing, or you attempt to be doing. Sometimes it's a little hard to make that adjustment and step back a little bit.
But I was very aware of it then when the boys were in college and then after college. And certainly, that helped prepare me for now they're married and their wives are in charge of them, not me. So it's even a step further back. So I think when you accept that early on, you're in a better position, I think, to not have those expectations. And, you certainly still love them, but you're not in control. That role changes.
Right. It is a little bit about control when your children are young and you make those decisions, but you hope you instill in them the right values and the right means to make those decisions on their own and to thrive from that. So,
Yes.
Absolutely. Not always easy. It also, I feel, helps whether you have a career of your own, you have hobbies, interests, to have something of your own and to focus on that, because some moms that I know in our shoes right now who have a lot of time on their hands, who still track their kids on their phones.
The funny thing is my son asked me, he wants to track me. I'm like, okay, fine. Like, I don't feel a need to track him. That's his wife's job now. I don't need to know where he is every minute. But I thought it was kind of cute. He just wants to make sure I'm okay. So,
absolutely. I think roles reverse. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And you know what? That says a lot about who your son is, that he cares about you and that, he's thinking that way. So that you did something good there, I'm sure.
Well, I don't know. I don't like to take too much credit. I feel like, they are who they are. And
well,
I think some of it's good luck,
right.
Honestly.
There's no doubt.
I mean, spending a lot of time with them is certainly the way to go.
Right. Genetics, good luck, but I'm going to give you some credit too, because I think you deserve it. I do. And it does help to have something of your own. And in my case, while I was raising my boys, I decided to step back from my career. After 3 boys, it just became a little much. I was trying to do a full-time job and part-time hours. It didn't really work for anybody. But I then went on to get my master's degree in education, part-time at night, having that something of my own starting several businesses, different things going on. And now, we got to the point, like you say, they're older, they have wives. And sometimes it's really hard to find that line of being involved, but not being too involved, and having something, whether it's pursuing a hobby, pursuing maybe even starting a new podcast, something like that, to really focus on yourself is, I think, helpful to everybody and make it a little bit more of a healthy relationship. Do you agree?
Yes. I mean, I think it might be good that I'm in Florida now for a bit working. My kids will come down with the baby in 2 weeks, so I'm really excited about seeing the baby of course, seeing the kids too, but
it's always about the baby
every day is going to be amazing. But, I also have to give them their space and be respectful. This is their baby, and, just to be helpful and stand by and not expect anything,
right?
And just go with it, because, you need to be available, but, nobody likes to be told what to do and to be criticized.
Right. We had our day and we did it our way. And
yes.
They do things a little bit differently now.
Yes.
And I remember
I asked my kids to give me a tutorial on changing a diaper. So I kind of don't think that much has changed, although I did notice some nuances to the new diaper.
Yeah, they have different brands that they use and different things. And the funny thing is, you have a grandson. I have a grandson as well, my first, and the next two were girls. So you talk about changing diapers. The first time I changed her diaper, which was literally, she was 2 days old, I believe, I looked down and I was like, I don't even know what to do here. I've had all boys. I know. Something was missing. I didn't know what to do. So it took some time to learn. I was happy to have the opportunity to learn. But they do things differently. I remember being told as the grandma to, for my grandson when he was born, to pretty much record everything in an app. So whenever he slept, when he woke up, when he pooped, write it all down, and I found that was okay, but this is how they do it these days, and whatever makes them happy.
The schedule.
Exactly. Yeah. So you mentioned to me when we talked before about overhearing some people, or once in a while you overheard, or you did overhear somebody kind of bashing her mother-in-law, I believe, and how we have this general stereotype about mothers-in-law and how they are overbearing and they are bad people and so forth. And I'm wondering, I know we both react to that and say, that's not the case. That's not who we are. We mean well. We're good people. We just want to help. I think you mentioned we want to be value-added mothers-in-law. So let's talk about that, how you felt when you heard that and what you think about it.
Well, I think everybody's so different in how they parent and what their expectations are with their boys, girls, and mother-in-laws. Some mother-in-laws want to be very hands-on and help out, and others just want to come occasionally and visit. I guess it depends on your kids and where they live and all of that. But I do wonder, where does that come from? So I did Google it, and I thought it was interesting to hear what they had to say.
I'm definitely interested in that. Let's hear it.
Mother-in-laws got a bad name through centuries of cultural narratives, literature like Dickens, and evolutionary conflicts, often portrayed as jealous, controlling figures who interfere with their child's new marriage, struggling with letting go. I think that's letting go is key.
Absolutely.
Setting boundaries and shifting family dynamics, creating tension and conflict that's amplified in media like Indian TV serials. I don't necessarily know what that is referring to.
Okay. Well, I guess culturally, too, in some cultures, and don't quote me on this, but I think, the sons, the mothers-in-law move in with the sons and their family, or the sons move in with their wives and their family. I think maybe in Indian culture, I'm not sure. In our culture here, I think there's an independence between, the new couple, the new, wanting to keep separate from the mother-in-law. And the way I kind of look at it is you can be one of two kinds of mother-in-laws. You can be the kind of mother-in-law who, I guess, is the stereotypical, always, in the way, kind of, overbearing and so forth. Or you can be the kind of mother-in-law, which I can relate to a little bit more, and I think maybe you can too, about wanting to just almost be like the perfect mother-in-law, wanting to help, wanting to be there, wanting to do everything you can to not be the stereotypical mother-in-law, and to have, to almost prove it wrong.
Right. To make their life easier, because it is hard when you're not getting so much sleep in the beginning, the first couple of months. However, it's good for your kids to get their rhythm, and they don't need a third party.
Absolutely.
There giving their opinion or interfering or whatever. Young new moms might not necessarily be, totally confident on what to do at different stages. So it's a learning curve.
And it's about our daughters-in-law, our new daughters, having moms of their own as well.
Yes.
And finding that balance of being mom too, but still being important and in their lives. And, everybody's relationships are different, so it's hard. But, I was thinking when we were talking about wanting to be the best mother-in-law ever, that I've always gone into it feeling that way, and maybe looking back, a little overzealous about that, and just wanting to do everything right. And it's interesting, I was reading a book recently. I don't know if you've heard about this book called Are You Mad at Me? It was written by Meg Josephson. Have you heard of it at all?
I haven't read it, but maybe I need to.
It's a really wonderful book. I happen to know Meg as well. And she talks about fawning, which is... I'm
laughing because my new daughter, she refers to me as, you're the most excited in the family for me having this baby. So I am pretty excited.
Yeah.
I have to keep it, I tease and I tell all the kids, you're going to have to lock me in a room. It's just to calm me down a little.
I hear you. It is. It's the most wonderful thing. And that's the thing. I think sometimes, like, she talks about fawning in relation to like people pleasing. And I look back and I think, okay, we want to be such good mothers-in-law. We want to do it all right. We want to keep our sons close and our new daughters close. And where's the line between, and maybe I need to invite Meg to come on and discuss this with us. Where's the line between people pleasing and going overboard and doing too much for something to try to minimize? I think she would say you people please to try to resolve any kind of potential conflict that would be between us.
Yes.
So it's hard to find that line, that balance.
I think it's easy for those mother-in-laws who are living close by because I'm in it for the long term. Like, I'm not in this quick 50-yard dash. So, maybe we just need to take it easier, knowing that, there's going to be plenty of time to help out. Doesn't have to happen all in the same first month.
Absolutely.
The baby's born.
I think it does evolve. I think if that's something I can, and probably you as well, share with our younger listeners, is that you mean well from your heart, that you just want to be there, you want to experience it all. And sometimes it takes a little time to realize, okay, Like you just said, we're in this for the long run.
Yeah.
I know people who, the baby's born and they don't live close and they just are on the next plane and they really want to be there. And, it takes some time to realize, the baby at 2 days versus the baby at 2 weeks, there's really not a lot of difference. And if the family needs, your children need a little time without you, that's okay, and we need to realize it's not our way or the highway. So you live and learn. We're getting there.
Yes.
We're getting there.
The other thing is, in my case too, both of my new daughters, they're very close with their moms.
Mm-hmm.
And I respect that because I'm very close with my mom. So that is a special bond. And in no way should a mother-in-law feel like they're ever going to replace their own mothers. But there is a special place, I think, for a mother-in-law to have, as an equal peer, to be able to open up and talk to. And
I agree with that. I think for a lot of times, and it depends on the given relationship, but yes, it's just like when you have more than one child, there's room in your heart and you can love. And it may not, for mothers and mothers-in-law, may be a little bit different. We didn't raise our daughters-in-law. They were raised a little differently. There's always, a learning curve of who we all are when a child gets married. Traditions are different. We're all adjusting. I know in our family, we had to navigate, we still are navigating holidays.
Yes.
So
that's a big topic.
It's a big topic. There's another show.
Yes.
But in our family, I'm really blessed to have 3 amazing daughters-in-law, and they have wonderful families. And their families celebrate holidays in a big way, as do my family. We always have, decorations and crazy stuff and lots of food. And so we worked it out that we now do every other Thanksgiving. All 3 of my sons and daughters, all 6 of my children and grandchildren are with us for Thanksgiving every other year. And every other year they are with their in-laws, their other families. And it works out for us because we know we'll have that every other year where we're all together. And there's no dissension every year, like who's doing what when. So you work things like that out, I think. Yeah.
Yes.
So it's all a learning curve. So anyway, anything else in regard to being a mother-in-law and having a grandson that you wanted to talk about?
I'm just thinking of, mother of boys. It should be pretty much the same as raising daughters, except I do feel the responsibility as a mother of boys to emphasize respect for women. And there's so much going on in the world now that is disrespectful and scary. So I think if good values are instilled at a very young age, that's our contribution to society to
I agree.
create young men.
I agree. And I think, I know in your case, you've created 2 amazing men who chose wonderful women. And, it does make us as moms feel like we did good. And
Yes.
that's our role. And that's a really great thing. And I do have to say also, watching our sons as they become parents and watching them as they become husbands is really incredible.
It is. It's so sweet.
And it does make me feel, and you're right, a lot of it is luck. But when I watched my son look out for his wife, any of them, it just does warm my heart. Like I raised him to be that way, and it's a good thing.
I also feel, I look at my husband as an incredible role model for the boys. And even the girls are constantly, reaching out for advice in their careers and legal matters, even though my husband's not a lawyer. He certainly could have been.
Right.
but the sensitivity that he brings to our family too, and sentimental things like the boys have always seen my husband give me flowers, a lot of the holidays and Valentine's Day and Fridays. So
we have a mantra in our family: do as I do, not as I say. And we always feel that way, that, mirroring what a relationship should be, if you are blessed enough to be able to do that, means everything.
yes.
That they really take it all in. Sometimes when you think that they are not noticing, sometimes when they rebel from certain things, they really are taking it in. And when you see it come back, you realize, and my husband as well, he's an amazing dad. And now, they call
Grandpa.
him Grandpa.
Was his name.
They call him Geeby, which is a little interesting because my oldest grandson, he wanted to be called Gramsci, and he couldn't say Gramsci at the time, so he said Geeby, and it stuck.
I hope our grandchild and children will be able to say Pops, because my husband is very invested in that
Pops.
name. He's got a hat embroidered from the kids with it. So, but yes,
I hope so too. For
whatever
his sake.
I know, me too. Whatever they call him will be it. So as long as they can say a name.
Absolutely. They don't even have to say anything. When they give you that look, it warms your heart. I always say that with my grandchildren, I may have a terrible cold, I may have a headache, whatever it is, and the minute I lay eyes on them or put them in my arms, it's
Everything
all out the
goes
window.
away.
It's all fine. It's like the best medicine ever. So it's crazy.
Yes.
It's crazy. So I'm going to actually move on, or I should say MOOB on here. We have a couple of different segments that we do on this podcast that are staples. So if you can stick around for some of them, that would be great. It just takes a moment. And the first one is called MOOB Mail, where many of our listeners send in questions, things that they might have some, want some feedback on. And I go through them every day. I was surprised to see, I didn't think I would get any, and I was surprised to see the MOOB Mail really kind of coming in either through Instagram, people DMing me, or from now our website. So I chose one or two things, and I thought we could hopefully respond. So let's move on to MOOB Mail.
Oh boy, it's that time. Ooh, mail's here. Your voice meets mine. From your heart straight to our trail. Let's open up that mail.
Okay, great. So I chose two different things today that came in. One of them I thought was just funny. So let's just respond to this one. Is it just me, or do boy houses smell different? I love my sons, but between gym bags, sneakers, and mysterious towels, I feel like I live in a locker room. Does this ever end? I just got a kick out of that one. What do you think?
That's so funny. I mean, one of my Hanukkah gifts in the last 10 years, I give the boys really nice cologne. But, I think once, they're married, their wives are keeping them fresh.
It's interesting. I
Showered
found my boys definitely, in my house, I had 3 sons, and where there's 3, there's usually more, the boys'
Yes,
friends coming
yes.
in. And the dogs, I mean, oh my God, it was just like crazy. After a while, you throw up your hands and you're just like, whatever it is. But then they get to that age where they're teenagers and they care how they smell.
Yes.
So all of a sudden out came the deodorant and the all the products, the hair gels. And so I think to this, I don't know how old this person who sent this in was, but I'm assuming her boys are little boys.
Yes.
And that as they get older, they're going to care about it themselves.
You know what? I would take those days back in a heartbeat to see, multiple soccer shoes in the mudroom, all lined up with their smelly socks and everything else.
Absolutely. They
Yeah.
go by very quickly. As a matter of fact, now I'm thinking my wheels are spinning here. We should really reach out and see if we can get some sponsors in the deodorant business. I think that would be an apropos audience we would have for them. So, all right, let's move on to the second one. So this is interesting. This is something we actually, I think, touched on just now. Now that partners and in-laws are in the mix, holidays feel complicated. How do you navigate sharing traditions without feeling resentful? So in my case, we talked about every other year for Thanksgiving, but there are other holidays as well. What do you think?
I'm still trying to work that through, trying to get on a schedule. So I'm the eternal peacemaker, trying to do holidays with one family and another and still keep my family in the loop. And some of my family's far away. And so, I guess I'm still trying to work it out and not be so rigid about I have to do this holiday at this time. I feel lucky that we have a house, a lake house that's a hotel, and I get a lot of family time with the kids and all their friends. So that warms my heart, and my husband too. We just love it when everybody comes. So as long as I get quality time with the kids and I enjoy both sets of their families, hopefully I can get on some schedules so everybody feels like included,
Absolutely.
so to speak.
Well, I think Debbie, you're the gold standard, and that everything that you're saying makes total sense. For those listening out there and who have, I think what you're saying is something we all need to strive for, and sometimes it's just not that easy. I know, having 3 families now,
That's even harder.
It's hard because, you don't really want to choose, okay, we'll go to this family, but not that family. You love them all. You can't be in 3 places at once. You have other family. I have my mother-in-law who, is in Florida, and we try to be with her. She's deserves her family around her during holidays. So it's not always that easy to navigate. And I know I had said, sometimes you have to be careful what you wish for and what you say, that I'm blessed and lucky enough that my kids live relatively close to me. And there's nothing better than being able to go over for an hour and see my grandchildren. And I guess my feeling all along was, I have you on an everyday basis. I have you close. So the holidays don't matter. You go, you do. And then the holiday comes around and you feel a little left out, because in my house, holidays were, my kids will laugh if they hear this, but they were a big thing, a really big thing.
Yes.
For whatever reason. And I guess because maybe I wasn't working and I was channeling everything into my house and my holidays.
What? I mean, I was working, but I love holidays, and, I just take a lot of lead from my own mom, who was all about the more the merrier. All the families are welcome. And it was always a special time to be together with great food.
Always food. Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. I guess the bottom line is, you just have to take a step back and pivot. In my case, it does help to have my husband as well. He's usually the voice of reason and I'm the voice of emotion. And, to step back and say, okay, maybe you didn't see it coming, that things were going to change, that the holidays of, 30 people where you're, busy and decorating and whatever might not be every year, but it's okay, because there are other things in life, and you just transition and it's good. And it took me a long time to realize that. I'm still learning.
I think if all families consider flexibility, and, some families are more flexible than others in terms of, making it a priority to share, because some families are so big that it gets harder. But, the main thing is I've come up with other, not just the major holidays, but other times. I had a fall dinner at my house with
That's a great idea.
one of my, so it wasn't a holiday per se,
Mhm.
but it was a time to get, you know, one of my new daughter's families together and all their siblings and all of that.
It's a great idea.
'Cause-
So you really didn't compete on a given day. You had
Yeah.
your own
Yeah,
thing.
just a fall dinner to
Yeah.
reciprocate.
Mhm.
And
Starting a new tradition is a great idea too. You know, maybe every year there's a fall dinner or there's something or yeah, it's a great thing.
I think, you know, it gets harder and harder with so many people living in different places that, you know, you have to work at it.
Absolutely. Thank God
Yeah.
though for FaceTime. And
Yes,
you
yes.
know, it's just incredible. I know even with my kids, my grandchildren, you know, being able to FaceTime and see them live like that is just makes all the difference sometimes and hear their voices and so forth. So
Yes.
my little 8-month-old, almost 9-month-old granddaughter just started saying dada. So I'm waiting for her to say
Aw.
nana. So we work on it every day on FaceTime, you know, nana. You know, she'll get there, I'm sure. Anyway, okay, our next segment that we're going to go through quickly is called the Confession Corner. So it's time for the Confession Corner.
Lean in close, have no fear. It's the confession corner, no judgment here.
Okay, our confession for today. I sometimes pretend I'm fine when my sons forget to call or text back. But the truth is, it stings a little every time. I don't want to guilt them. I just miss being their center. So this person did not tell me how old her sons were, so we can just kind of infer that on our own. What do you think?
Well, if your sons are married with young babies, they don't have a lot of time. So, you know, you better get in the back seat.
I guess so. Give them a little grace, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, one of the things, too, is I think, and this is interesting, the one thing we haven't talked about yet is communication in general. And, you know, I kind of find trying to be that perfect mother-in-law or being, you know, in their lives, communicating is the best. I mean, when you don't communicate, we infer negative things sometimes. I have my little always half full here. I try to live with that mantra. Like we're always going to see the bright side, and we're going to have positive thoughts on things. So I think when you communicate how you really feel, and it's not really guilting, I don't think, but if it's telling your son, you know, I kind of would really like to hear from you a little more. We have so many ways to communicate now. Text me, you know, make a quick call. It means a lot to me. Maybe that's enough.
So I have an idea that I'm going to share with you what I've done. My younger son is he's not so new. He's a golfer and he really loves it. And it's a lot of time out on the golf course. So that is one of my motivations. I'm a new golfer, and it's nice to be able to have some time alone to go out and, you know, hit some balls, play golf with him, just the two of us, you know, ultimately. So I'm still trying to get respectful so I can
That's great.
go
Well,
out
I
on
will
the
go out
course.
with you anytime. You are cordially invited to come play golf with me. And I've said this before. We had a discussion on another show about identity. And I said before, like, I do play golf as well. And I think that a lot of the reason, because I'm not an athlete at all, but a lot of the reason I did take up golf was that I knew that my boys play too. And that would be my time with them.
Yes. And my older son is a major concert goer, and we share the love of music, and I love his playlist. I love all the groups that he loves. So we haven't done that lately because he's a little busy, but, you know, hopefully we'll get back to that at some point to be able to enjoy doing that
Absolutely.
together too.
Yeah, it's a great thing, and it's a good thing with the girls as well. I'm playing mahjong now with my young daughters-in-law, and it's amazing and it's really fun. So, Anyway, Debbie, thank you for joining me today. This has been
Thank
a
you
great
so much.
conversation. I hope we
Yes.
helped a lot of mothers-in-law and daughters-in-law, again, those daughters-in-law who will one day be mothers-in-law themselves. And I hope everybody enjoyed the conversation and got something out of it. And to all my listeners, if this resonated with you, which I hope it did, I hope you will follow us on social media, on Instagram and Facebook. Look at our website and try to give me some input. So keep those confessions and MOOB mail coming. And until next time, I'm going to tell you what I always do. Hug your sons, trust your instincts, and remember, where all boy moms belong is right here.
Oh boy, that's it for today. Oh boy, you made it all the way. Oh boy, glad you came to stay. We'll do it again on another day.